Good morning. Hopefully you can see and hear us okay on a rather blustery, windy day. Our first draw long back from half term and our first draw long of 2025. I hope you're excited about this because we are. We are going to be drawing the Bird of Paradise today. If you are watching live, feel free to say hello. Obviously, it's been a while since we went live, so just want to make sure that you can see and hear us okay and that everything is working. So this term, we are focusing on exotic birds, and we're probably starting with the most challenging one to draw. I don't know what we were thinking, but what a way to throw ourselves in. Hello, Nicole, and hello from Farron. Awesome. I hope that means you can hear me okay. I hope you've had an awesome break, and if you celebrate, I hope you've had an awesome Christmas and seen the new year in a positive way. We've woken up ill, well, I have. So if I am coughing and spluttering through this, I apologise in advance. But yes, we are going to be learning all about the bird of paradise today. This is just one species or one version of the bird of paradise. There are different ones, and we're going to learn all about them as well. So just to give us a few seconds, maybe a minute or so, for people to join us and get ready, because I know I felt a little bit manic trying to get ready for this a minute ago. So I know it could be the same for everybody else as well. So before I start, I'm going to share a couple of facts about the bird of paradise. So they are a large and highly diverse family which contains 45 species. So this is one of those 45, and that's within 17 genera. Their closest living relatives are the family of, I can never say this right, Corvidae, which includes crows and jays. So they're quite linked genetically, historically, to crows. Each species is uniquely decorated, most with unbelievably bright, iridescent colours, and some with ornamental feathers, so absurd that they look like children's drawings brought to life. Jay says it's kind of blurry. If we've got poor signal, we've got the wind down here in Kent, so it might be that's affecting our signal. Hello to Holly and Happy New Year. Thank you so much. The greater bird of paradise is what we're drawing today. This is what we are drawing, the greater bird of paradise. It's the biggest member of this genus. These birds were named by Carolus Linnaeus as legless birds of paradise, or greater birds of paradise, because natives prepared early trade skins for Europe without their feet, resulting in the misconception that these beautiful birds were visitors from paradise kept aloft by means of their plumes and only touched the earth when they died. The male has large yellow ornamental plumes on its flanks and two long tail wires, whereas the female has brown plumage. Their lifespan is unknown, but generally birds of paradise live 5 to 8 years in the wild and up to 30 years in captivity. The greater bird of paradise mainly eats fruit, seeds and small insects. Also muffled. Is everybody getting the same poor signal? Is it definitely us? What have we got? It's kind of blurry and voice is difficult to hear, not very clear. Oh no, let me just check that my connection is on the right thing. Let me have a look. Yeah, it is. I think unfortunately it is just going to be a little bit, it's probably linked to the weather. I do apologise. Hopefully you can just follow along when I start drawing and it won't be too much of a mission for you. So, more messages. Hello to Michael, hope you had a good Christmas and a Happy New Year from Bean and Bud. Hello to you and Happy New Year to you as well, guys. Morning from Emily. I don't know if that's Freya as well. Joe says, welcome back to Drawalong, everyone, and Happy New Year from Joe. Oh, it's weird to be back. It's been like a month, hasn't it? So, we're just going to take a swig of tea and then we're going to get started on this very challenging draw, guys. We're going to do it. It's going to be a mission, but we're going to give it a good go. So I'm going to be drawing landscape because I want to be able to fit in the glorious tail feathers of this male greater bird of paradise. We know it's a male because it's got the yellow plumage and also these two wires that it mentioned in the notes that I just read out as well. So let's get started. Oh, this can be interesting because I've not drawn for a while, so I need to warm up a little bit. So I'm going to just sketch in where I want the tail to start and end. Make sure I don't crop out anything vitally important because obviously this is a big feature of this bird. So that's the wing shape I'm seeing. I can see the other wing back there. The body comes roughly here. And then the face and then the beak. And I'm even going to include I don't know if you can see in our reference picture, but our bird of paradise is carrying a red berry in his mouth as well. So I'm going to make sure I include that as well. And then the legs go somewhere like this. I do like this reference image because it shows the whole bird. You see his feet, his claws, you see the tail, you see the wings, everything's included. I quite liked that. That's why I picked it, even if it is going to be really difficult. Abby said, oh no, I was making a portrait picture. How am I going to do this? You could still do it in portrait. I'm just happening to be doing it in landscape to make sure I can fit everything in place. So that's a very, very rough layout. And now I'm going to go in and get some more details down. So make sure I've got the eye in.
I can't do this picture.
You can't give up just yet, Michael.
I'm gonna do the bird. I'm gonna find a different picture.
Okay. So you're looking for a greater bird of paradise.
Yeah.
It's gonna take us a while. It feels like we've had quite an extended break, hasn't it, from drawing? So it's like you need to warm up a little bit. So sketching in the facial features now, that long, sharp, and you can see that does look reminiscent of a crow, doesn't it? That beak. And remember, just keep looking back at your reference picture to make sure you get the proportions as accurate as you can. Doesn't have to be perfect. If we wanted it perfect, we just print out this picture. This is our interpretation of it. And when we start adding colours, that's when it will really become clear what it is we're drawing. So even if you don't get the proportions quite right, we can be forgiving of ourselves on that. These little, almost talons like, aren't they, that he has? And he says, how was your Christmas, Pip? It was good. I had a good Christmas, thank you. How was yours? It was a much needed break, recharge. It felt like we'd had a busy couple of months there. Let's defeat him. I know I'm purposely avoiding the wings. I know that is my nemesis when it comes to drawing birds, which is why it's not normally something I opt to draw when I'm drawing animals. So this term is really going to be a personal challenge for me. I love them, I respect the birds, but I am not great at drawing them compared to other animals. I definitely prefer mammals. So it's good to push ourselves out of our comfort zones, even us grown-ups. So someone said it's unable to see what you're drawing, it's too faint. So as I start adding colour, you will be able to start seeing things more. As long as you've got the reference image, you can be following on from that rather than necessarily copying what I'm drawing. That can be quite tricky to do when someone's drawing in real time. It can be quite difficult to follow along because we all draw at different speeds. So I'd actually recommend you follow the reference picture and then just sort of listen to my tips and advice, I guess. See if any of them work for you. This wing is going to be tricky and I can't avoid it. It needs to be done. I'm just going to add in that little bit of yellow there. Eden and Susie, so I'm a little late as I slept in. I wish I did. I wish I had slept in because it's barely visible. Right, so I am going over it slightly darker now, so you should be able to see a bit more of what I'm doing. Like I say, though, I think your best bet is to actually look at the reference image and follow on from there. I don't want to do this wing. It's scaring me. It's in flight as well, so there is a slight blur to the photo, which makes it a little bit trickier. And what I have noticed straight away from my image, and this is why it's best to work from the reference, my towel is too small compared to the body. I don't think I can change it now unless I redraw the face, which is a shame because I've got the proportions right. I'm going to do it. I'm doing it. It's happening. And this is why, yeah, like I say, probably best to follow the reference image rather than me drawing specifically, because when I make mistakes, then it kind of would mean that you're following on my mistakes, if that makes sense. So I'm just going to make a slight adjustment, try and make that head smaller as I can, so that the towel is significantly bigger, because that is, quite a defining feature of this bird. Okay, that's a little bit better. Right. There is no void in that now. I really do need to do the wings. Right, so difficult to see what's going on here, so I've got to use my imagination a little bit to fill in the blanks. These individual little wing flight feathers going in. And what I'll do, once I've drawn my wings, I will read out some more facts for you. Joseph, we'd love to hear if anyone got any new art supplies for Christmas to help that they use them today. Oh, yeah. And Abby said, I've been drawing from the wrong reference picture. Abby, what were you drawing? What bird were you drawing? How did that happen? That's so a thing that I would do as well, to be fair. Am I drawing from the right reference picture? You're making me doubt myself. Have you given yourself a head start on like next week's one? Oh, Emily says, yes, she got some new supplies. What did you get, Emily? Wasn't some new paints, was it? Have you put the king bird of paradise? Whereas this is the greater bird of paradise. Ah, I see. Bud got a new watercolour pad for Christmas. Nice. And Emily got a new set of watercolour paints and a set of pencils. Nice. Oh, I can't wait to see what you do with them all. And it's up to you guys what you do with the background on your bird. Whether you do shade it black like the image shows, because that obviously will make the colours pop a lot more. I don't know that I'll have time during the live to do that, but we'll see. What would have been cool is perhaps if we'd drawn it on black paper. Didn't think of that until just now. A bit too late now though.
I could just colour my whole thing black. I could just do the whole thing. It would take a while, but I could do it.
Yeah. And I've got the main structure in. I'll get rid of some of these other confusing lines. Okay, that's not bad. That is not bad for a month off with a really, really challenging image. So I'm going to give myself a pat on the back for that. Sarah put, we got Artworks colouring pencils. Nice. Oh, I've not heard of Artworks, so they're good. And hi from Ria and Warris. Awesome. I feel like we've got new people here today, so welcome if you've not come to our Drawalong before. If you don't know, my name's Pip, and Michael is my son, and he's drawing along with us as well.
I'm not the greatest drawer.
Wow. You enjoy the process, and that's all that matters, isn't it? You're too critical on yourself. So let me share some other facts with you. Most species of birds of paradise habitat rainforest, moss forest, coastal mangroves, swamps, and temperate rainforests. They can be found in New Guinea, the Maluku Islands, and Australia, and they live approximately 15 years. Depending on the species, they can be anything from 15 to 50 centimetres in length. It's quite a difference. And their species range from 50 to 430 grams in weight. They possess diverse and vivid coloration, and between all the species, they exhibit virtually the entire colour spectrum, which is pretty cool. They eat fruit, invertebrates, nectar, and occasionally small vertebrates. Their predators, so the things that will hunt them, are snakes and raptors. And their top speed is 22 miles an hour. Pretty fast. Farron got King Art charcoal drawing set. I got a charcoal drawing set too from the lovely Jo. Thank you, Jo. I got new water-based alcohol markers. Oh, nice. Oh, art supplies for Christmas are just the best. I love it. Just going to extend that beak on. I think I made it a little bit short. So there we go. So now the fun bit, we've got to start with adding some tone and stuff. So I'm going to start like I normally do with the eye, leaving a nice little white highlight to make it look more realistic. And he's got a nice big round black pupil, followed by a vivid yellow around it. Quite a wide band of it as well. Oh, this pencil is too sharp and it's blunted. And that's the eye, nicely done. And I noticed there's like a black ring around that again, like a really thin black ring. And this is where I need to enlarge so I can see some finer details. Have you got some too detailed colouring books as well? Oh, they're so therapeutic, those sort of colouring books. I'm all for that. Okay, what I'm going to do is go in with some yellow tones. And I'm not just block colouring it in one tone. I've actually got like three different tones of yellow today, because actually when you zoom in, you can see variation in tone. There's some lighter spots and some darker spots. And this is where it's really important to keep referencing your image. Don't make assumptions. Keep going back to it, so you can see where the lighter spots are and the darker spots are. Oh, and then again, anyone that's been following along, I got a brand new gel pen. I actually got a set of 6 of them because I ran out last year, and actually it's quite important for adding other highlights to your illustration. And I say that because looking at the head of the bird of paradise, you can see some like white speckles where the light's reflecting off the top of the feathers. So a white gel pen will really help you to do that as like a final step on your drawing. Top tip. I'm going to go in with this blue. I've got a feeling I've got the wrong kind of blue, but I have lent my pencils to my other child. So I will have to make do. Yeah, it's a little bit too sky blue, but hey ho. My interpretation again, isn't it? Doesn't have to be exactly the same. And we've got a how to draw horses book. They're good, those little instructional books as well. I've got some gel pens too. Yay, yay for the gel pens. I'm stuck in full screen mode and Iris Esque it does nothing. Ooh. I don't think I can help you with that one. It sounds like it's an issue with your settings this end. Your end, sorry. I'm adding the little berry or nut, whatever he's got in his mouth. You could change that to something else if you wanted to. Got that artistic license to make it whatever you want it to be. And then I'm going to do some black tones on those feathers around his face. But again, it's not solid black. Keep looking at it, you'll see some darker and lighter tones. So you can just build up layers to create a darker tone of black. You could even use a grey pencil to give you the lighter tones instead. So you could switch pencils. I'm going with the black at the moment. Like I say, just keep referencing your image. Don't guess, don't make assumptions. And because I'm using watercolour pencils, I can even leave some areas completely white, because when I then use the paint, the water, I can sort of blend the colour out a little bit, and it will be a softer black. I think I have a putty rubber thing from the charcoal set. How do you keep it and not dry it out? I've never had it dry out. If it's the same sort of set as what I've got, did it come in a little cardboard sleeve? Because you could keep it in that cardboard sleeve. Or even like a little miniature Tupperware box thing might work. So I've noticed on the bird that it's very black around the face, and then it starts to become a more browny tone. So I'm going to introduce a brown tone here now, sort of around the chest area. And it almost then becomes like a reddish brown tone. So I'm like switching between pencils. And again, when I add that water, I'll be able to blend those colours together quite well. How you doing, Michael?
Good. I'm doing a black background.
Have you finished this bird already?
No, not yet.
You've got the basics down, yeah.
I put the colours and stuff on the bird, but I'm not done for it yet. I need to paint the black.
I need to buy the eraser. Look what we're down to. My goodness. Okay. Do I just bite the bullet and get the wings done? Because it's the thing that I just put off, because it's not as fun as the rest of it. Let's just do it. Swallow your frog, as they say. Get that horrible job done first. And again, you can see different tones on on each individual feather, where the light's reflecting off them in different ways as well. So again, keep making sure you check in. That wasn't as painful as I thought it was going to be. And it's often the way, isn't it? With a job that you really don't want to do, like sorting your bedroom out or something. Never as bad as we imagine it's going to be in our heads. I'm just putting in some darker tones of brown there as well. How are we doing with time? Not too bad. Holly asked if she can see Michael's drawing, please.
Maybe in a bit.
In a bit. He's at that stage where he's like, I don't want to show anyone just yet. I've got to wait for the next part of the process, but we will show. I don't want to jinx it, but my coughing has calmed down. It's not been too much. It's good. I know, now I've said it. Jinxed it there, didn't I? I'm stuck with the shading, Emily says. Yeah, I think it's going to take us a while to sort of warm up from a month off, but just keep going with it. What part of the bird is it you're working on? I'm not overly enamoured with the work I've done on the wings so far, but I'm hoping that when I come to blend in with the water, I can fix it, drastically improve my work. Abby's put, you're so talented. You're so sweet. Thank you. Needed to hear that today. I don't like doing wings. I don't like doing birds, but here I am. Okay, let's work on those towel feathers. It does look like towel feathers to me. What we've got to do as well is make sure we get those two little, what do we call them? They're not whiskers, are they? They are two long tail wires. I've got to make sure I haven't actually drawn them in yet, so don't let me forget that, Michael. That'll be very inaccurate as a greater bird of paradise. Oh dear. The wings Emily's struggling with. Well, you and me both. So I've just gone with two tones of brown. And I'm really hoping that I can just fix it with the water at some point. But yeah, it's tricky. Wings are really tricky, I think.
I can show it at the moment. I'm just waiting for it to dry.
Yeah, so Michael's
bad.
worked a lot on his background. You've worked from different reference pictures, so you've got a greater bird of paradise perched in a tree, and then you've gone with a black background with some tropical leaves as well. Add some more colour. Well done, Michael.
I don't think it looks that great, but
you're too hard on yourself. Right, let's get some of these flashes of yellow in because I've got to allow myself enough time. I thought I was doing enough time, but I've got to get the feet in, which is a lot of detail. And I've got to actually, you know, put some water on the page. And then if I have time, some darker tone. What would be really nice if you've got time today, you don't have to be finished within the hour. When you look on the image really close up, you can see some really lovely details on individual feathers, where you can see like every little part of the feather. If you can do that, that's amazing. I'm not sure I'm going to have time for that. I think I might have to sort of just give the illusion of those feathers without actually doing the fine detail, which is a shame, but needs must. There's only so much I can do in an hour. I said, wow, that's amazing, Michael. Thank you for sharing. Oh, thank you. Okay, I've got like a grey tone for the legs. I'm going to go in, but there's, again, lots of white highlights that I want to get in there as well. It's almost like a reflective surface we can see, but if you don't put the highlights in and you've got a white gel pen, you can put them in after. Sometimes, especially if you're working with the water, you kind of lose those little snippets of highlight. Again, that's where the highlighter, the gel pen, comes in quite handy. And those highlights on the claws make it look, you know, sharp as well. This person doesn't use drawbirds, or Renee, amazing I could actually draw this. Oh, well done. That's what we like to hear. You're in the same boat as me then. Not a huge fan of drawing. Ornithology. Now I'm going to use a really a lighter grey, because these tail feathers are white, but I'm not going to have time to do a black background. So what I've got to do is use the grey to give the illusion of shadow and stuff to represent the whiter feathers. And it's not too easy to do, but I'll give it a go. I might be able to get some of these details in this feather. Yeah, I'm managing to do it, so that's kind of nice. Showing the texture of the feather at least. And these feathers as well gives a sense of movement to the picture, I think, as well, because the way they're sort of swirling. Okay. I might be close to adding some water, and then that might give me enough time to add in some final details at the end, including those towel wires. So, where's my paintbrush? What have I done with it? Where's my little one gone? Have you nicked it? Yeah. There we go. Michael's the culprit. So I'm going to start with the eye. Again, try not to load your paintbrush up too much with water, because it makes it difficult to then control it the way it moves on your page. I'm going to go in the beak. I'm going to do some of the finer details first and then move on to the body. On my reference picture, the wing is at an angle where I can't just use normal shades of grey. You've made it difficult for yourself, have you? Just a slightly bigger paintbrush now. Oh no, I don't know if it's a bit too big actually. Focus on the yellow because if I start using the black, I might find that I lose the vibrancy with the yellow because I have black tones on the brush a bit. Again, move the paintbrush and the water in the direction that the actual feathers are growing. This is a really random question, but do you like goat's cheese? I do not. Michael probably would. I don't think you've tried it yet. Have you tried it? Michael is a big cheese fan. He likes his blue cheeses and stuff. I'm a cheddar girl. I like just good old different flavoured cheddars. I like Wensleydale. Michael likes his blue cheese. We both like Camembert.
Yeah.
I had goat's cheese once and wasn't a fan. But maybe I should try it again now as an adult because I reckon your taste buds change every 7 years. So things that you think that you don't like, you might find that you have developed a taste for them. But why? I feel like there's more to this. Why did you ask, Abby?
I like brie as well.
You like brie, yeah.
Especially Camembert.
Camembert is your favourite. There's a round of that in the fridge that I need you to consume because it's stinking the fridge out.
No, you've got to leave it in there a bit longer.
No, it's stinky. No, it's stinking the whole fridge out.
Well, I'm not eating a whole one to myself.
Well, you did the other night.
Yeah.
And then regretted it.
I'll have half of it and then have the rest.
Okay, now I can go in the darker tones because I love goat cheese and I usually have goat products. Oh, interesting. Got another one. I love goat cheese. Oh, well, just me then. I was still a teenager when I tried it, so that was a long time ago. So maybe I should give it another go. Goat cheese and crackers. I do love crackers. I do love a pickle. I mean, you'd think we'd be sick of it now because Christmas is over. But no, that is definitely a go-to snack for me. Gherkins, pickled onions, chutneys, and cheeses and crackers. It's like my ideal snack. I prefer that to cake. What do you prefer, Michael?
What?
Cake or cheese?
Cheese.
Cheese, yeah. Suspected. Hard pass from Joe on goat's cheese. Not just me then. It's just very pungent. Bye bye, Pip and Michael. See you next Monday morning. Mummy will send you my drawing. Awesome. So don't forget, yes, between 1 and 3 today. The earlier you can get it on, closer to 1 o'clock, the better for Joe, who writes our lovely feedback. If it's after 3 o'clock, we won't be able to give any feedback, so just make sure it goes on. Maybe even set an alarm on your phone or something to remind you. What are we drawing next week, Joe? Can you recall or look it out for me? Because I've completely forgotten. Got a couple more facts to share about the bird of paradise as well, but I just wanted to get moving on my colour and tone so I didn't run out, but I will share some in a second when I've painted this week. Love birds next week. Oh, nice. I think it's a blue-chested or blue-headed or blue-crested lovebird. So they're another fascinating little bird. Yes, because I just started doing my research to have all the facts ready for them. I learned some interesting things that I'm looking forward to sharing with you guys. And I think it won't be as challenging as this bird has been today. I think it's going to be a little bit more within our comfort zone. Some of you might be pleased to know. I know I am. So the display feathers that are possessed by many of the male birds of paradise are often so large that they actually hinder the bird's ability to fly. Alongside their bright colours, these ornaments make males much more vulnerable to predators than females, because obviously it's like, look at me, look at me. So predators can see them quite easily. So by selecting only the most extravagant males, females ensure that they've chosen a mate that is strong enough to survive despite their elaborate handicaps. Excuse me. Oh, I was doing so well. Good point. I was like, oh my God, why are we doing lovebirds in January? We should be doing them near Valentine's Day. That's a good point. They said, I've been using a lot of watercolours over our break. I love keeping a dry brush next to me in case I put a little too much water on. I can use the dry brush to soak it up if I move quickly. But cotton buds and kitchen roll work just as well. That's a good tip, Joe. I think I might have to steal that. That's a really good idea. Yeah, if you've laid too much water on the page and you need to remove it quickly before you risk losing the control of the colour on your page, have something nearby that you can use to blot it. Like years ago, when we used to use cartridge pens to write with, we had something called blotting paper. And again, if you had too much ink on your page, that blotting paper absorbed some of it away from you. So it's the same process and principle. I like that.
We use like mustard for painting as well sometimes.
I have never heard that.
I'm sure we use like food.
Do you mean for dyes, like dye fabrics, probably? Might need to put some more darker tones in those feathers if it's got time to dry. My drawing's going well, in my opinion, from Bud. Awesome, that's what we like to hear. Good positive start to the new year of draw-alongs. I think, considering it's a bird and considering it is a very tricky image, I think I've done all right today. And considering we've had a month off, I think it's going okay. Oh, I've got to do a towel. Yeah, I think the colours on the feathers here are a little bit too muted. I think I need to go in with a darker brown or even a black to just to darken them a little bit. slicing my paint by that. Emily's done those already. Abby says, I'm obsessed with mini houses and building them. That's random. Oh, that's cute though. That's a nice hobby to have. Don't let me forget those towel wires, people. It's the sort of thing I would do. Okay, so that's drying a little bit because I do need to get some darker tones. I'm going to use my white gel pen to try and do those reflective bits of light that I can see at the top of the bird's head. It's not even something you can see very well here, but maybe, I don't know. Not going to focus, is it? Can't see it. I can see it. I know it's working. So we'll go with that. Some little flashes of highlight on the yellow towel feathers as well. Have you done mine? Mine's called Kiwi. That's cool. Did I say that they come from New Zealand? They can be found in New Zealand. Australia. So that would have been even more appropriate if it was New Zealand. But I like the name. Does yours have a name? No, mine doesn't have a name. I'm not very good at naming mine. What should I call mine? Keith. I don't know why. That just came to my head. It looks a very unlikely name for such a beautiful bird. Right. I definitely need to get some darker tones on here. Even in the eye, it needs to be a little bit stronger. It's the feathers again, it's the wing feathers are just too soft. I think I was scared of making a mistake, so I kind of went too soft with the colour and the tone. I'm going in with a black now, just to give them a little bit more definition. And it says she does diamond art. I have done a bit of diamond art. I do like that. I recently bought myself some paint by number just because it's the sort of thing you don't have to think about too hard. It's quite a relaxing thing to do of an evening, especially when your brain's a little bit tired and worn out. But I feel like it's better than scrolling on social media or watching EastEnders because I don't think that's good for any of our mental health. That's not to say I don't do that too. It's that time of the day. My stomach's starting to rumble. Apologies if it picks up on the microwave. Please don't mind. Microphone. So the paper's a little bit damp still on the towel, so it's struggling to pick up the pencil tone here. I'll give it a good go. And I need to make sure that I get those towel wires in, which I'm going to go with a darker grey to do that rather than a black. Like this. It's sort of, ooh, this will go like that. They're coming from the towel. Which is a little bit too thick there. Hey ho. You can see the other one behind it as well. Might add a little bit of water on there just to soften it down a little bit. Emily called hers Corey. At this point, I am not happy with the wings, and I'm almost going to say, right, I'm not going to look at my reference image now. I'm just going to do what I think needs to be done to improve this drawing. And this is what we can do as artists. We can make the rules up as we go along. That's why I like art, because I'm not very good at following rules, especially if they were made up by other people. I'm going to go on with some darker brown tones. Not necessarily what I'm seeing on the reference image, I just feel like it would make the picture better. So that's what I'm doing. You've got complete artistic license when you're doing artwork, especially on our Drawalongs. I feel that has made it a little bit better. I don't think I want to do too much more. I think it might be done. How's everybody else doing? So, just a couple more facts I'm going to share with you. Birds of paradise feathers are traditionally used by the people of New Guinea in traditional dress and rituals. In past centuries, they also became popular for use in European clothing, and many species have become endangered as a result of hunting, which is a shame. Habitat loss magnifies the impact of hunting and currently represents the biggest threat to the survival of the birds of paradise. They are a major attraction to New Guinea for bird watchers and nature lovers. And the presence of tourists and the money they bring to local economies gives incentives to local people to preserve the habitat and significantly reduces hunting as a result. Now, I've got a feeling, oh no, I did write that. So in terms of conservation status, they are listed as vulnerable or near threatened, depending on the species. So they are not in a good place in terms of their numbers, unfortunately. And again, once again, due to human intervention. So, Abby put, I'm going to go now. Bye. Thanks for an amazing lesson. Thanks, Abby. Thanks for coming. Hopefully we'll see you next week. And I said, Pip, I love yours. It looks great. Thank you so much. And mine looks good as well. Nice. That's what we like to hear. Don't forget, I nearly did them. It's not finished until you sign it. Oh, and we date it, and it's the first one of 2025. Wow, look at that. That feels weird. It was the first time I've written the date this year. So, thanks so much for joining us. Hope you enjoyed that and it wasn't too taxing. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. And we'll hopefully see you next week where we are drawing the lovebird, the blue lovebird, which I'm really excited about, and sharing some facts on that as well. Don't forget as well, on the discussion tab of the events, there are some worksheets that you can complete that just a case of filling in the boxes in relation to facts about the animals to further embed your learning. With Michael and Elliot, what we tend to do, we have a sketchbook with our pictures in, and the next page has the fact sheet in there as well, completed. So awesome. Also, don't forget to submit your work for feedback if you'd like Joe to write you some feedback between 1 and 3. The closer you can upload it to 1 o'clock, the better for us. Thank you so much for that. Beth, I drew it on an iPad. Oh, wicked, you've got a digital drawing. We'd love to see that. So thank you. And Deneen's put, thank you, bye. We'll see you again. Good, hope you've had a strong start to 2025 and that you have a nice week and it's not too heavy, because the first week back, especially after Christmas, is a little bit hard, isn't it? So thanks for joining us and making the start of our week such a pleasurable one. See you later, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.